Welcome to the Independent Weekend Special Edition of Inking Stories. This is Andre, the founder of All About Tattoo India, a platform to connect, share, and collaborate. Today's session is about carving the core. It's been very challenging times for us, for each one of us, and hence we at All About Tattoo India thought it's important to discuss a subject as carving your core. A very special thank you to Vrinda for accepting our invitation and willing to share her knowledge with the tribe, along with Diana and Rishabh. Our moderator and good friend, Samir, is himself into fitness and hits the gym, come what may. Welcome, Samir. Let's get this conversation started.
Hello.
Thank you, Andre. Hi, everyone. Good
Hi.
Hi
evening,
everyone.
good evening to all our panelists and speakers, and hi. So yes, it's great to see you guys. I'm so delighted to see you guys. I've not been able to meet you all in person, but today due to thanks to this platform, I'm being able to see you guys online and talk to you guys, which is really nice. So I think it's whatever come may, we should appreciate the little small things that we have. And things have taught us, this difficult situation has taught us so much. And I think today is just one of those things that we should be sharing with each other and, you know, learn more through each other and see what exactly we can, learn in these difficult times and how can we inspire and, each other and hold on to things. So, yes, thank you, Vrinda. Thanks a lot. It's a great honor to have you on this platform. And
Thank you, Sam.
I would, as much as I'm happy to see you here. I'm also, proud to tell people that Vrinda is a very close friend of mine, and also happens to be a holistic, and a wellness fitness. She's into wellness. She's a wellness coach, and not just a wellness coach. She's someone who most of our celebrities go to, to seek advice and to ask about, you know, things and everything that you want to talk about. So thanks a lot, Vrinda. And here representing my community, that's the tattoo industry. I've got our very own Rishabh from Immortal Tattoos, and I've got Diana, who's also a co-founder of and lady of the tattoo industry. So welcome both of you guys. Thanks for being here, and thanks for
Thank you.
accepting our invitation.
Thank you for
So
having
what we're going to be talking about today in the core. Welcome, guys. And so as you guys know, the reason why we are here and what is the whole discussion all about today is about us, you know, talking about how important it is not just, to take care of what we are doing. Yes, we are all very busy with our, now that things are opening up, we are getting a little busy and, everyone's really occupied with their own lives, trying to move on with things and make up for whatever we've lost in the last 1.5 years or so. So, we are here today to discuss about how important is it for us to stay strong and to hold on to things and take care of ourselves, not just mentally, but physically as well. And what is that important part that, physical fitness as well as mental fitness plays in our lives. So, we're here just to share our thoughts and share our, you know, uh, opinion, see things, from our end. So, Vrinda, Rishabh, and Diana, it's open to us now. We can take this ahead and let's talk about it. So, Vrinda, tell me, it's very sad that we've not been able to have Shivoham with us today. He's had commitments and due to which he's not been able to join us. But yes, we were fortunate enough to have a small chat with him yesterday where we were discussing about What are the things one needs to take care of as a tattoo artist? These two beautiful people sitting in front of us over here right now, we, all three of us, we come from the same background, and, we, with not just meeting up very taxing lifestyle where it comes to professionally, we also have to meet up with family and, these fronts. So besides physically taking care of ourselves, how do you think and what do you advise us tattoo artists? You've seen me in action most of the time. You've seen how hard I work and how much I push myself to the brink, in
Yeah.
doing tattoos every day and things like those. So is there, what would you like to share with us? You've seen it all. How do you think we guys should be taking care of ourselves, and how do you think we are going wrong in what we are doing?
Firstly, thank you guys for having me here. And Sam, I would like to refer to all of you who are here and all of you who are watching that I would like to refer to you as life. Whether you're a tattoo artist, whether you are a business person, whatever you are, but fundamentally you are life. So understanding the truth of life itself, of whatever constitutes as you, is fundamental for your well-being. So right now, our well-being is only defined by how we look, and how any aches and pains in the body, or is my belly sticking out. But that is not the scenario anymore, Sam. Uh, the human system has to be understood in
Mm-hmm.
totality. Just like we have a physical body, we have a mental and an
Mm-hmm.
emotional body. All our efforts of taking care of the physical body with just
Right.
the diet and exercise has failed drastically. Yes, diet and exercise are important, but unless we address the human being as a human system, we are really falling short. And that is the
Mm-hmm.
reason why depression and anxiety are the next pandemics that WHO is predicting, worse than the current pandemic. So, the fundamental understanding what I would want each human being on this planet, because this is a property which is mind is most refined for a human being. Animals are not as conscious as a human being. This is a existential fact. But as far as a human being is concerned,
Right.
a human being should be able to understand their mental emotional state and do something about it. Because if they don't, then over a
Right.
period of time, it is going to manifest in their physical body as some problem or the other. It would be either weight gain or aches and pains, uh, spine is stiff, neck issue, lower back issues, and not just that. For an artist, it's completely here. It's all here. So an agitated mind really cannot create. A mind has to be in a very very stable state to be able to create beautifully. And it is unfortunate that people have to turn to some substance or the other to reach that state of calmness. There is no judgment to it, but it is not half as effective
Mm-hmm.
as a consciously rested mind. It is phenomenal when you're resting the mind consciously. You have that kind of an ability. So the two things that happen, Sam, especially if I'm referring to the creative industry, so whether it's and you guys are creative to the core. I mean, we're talking about the core, so carving out the core. So let's talk about the core. The core is the spirit, and little more tangible than that would be the mind, and the most obvious is the body. So you have to go deeper. Some amount of time, some amount of effort has to be put in your mental well-being. Firstly, in understanding what my thoughts are, what my emotions are, how are they affecting each and every cell of my body. Because if I am not fine, how can my work be fine? What am I trying to sustain? When we say we are crashing, we're normally talking about the work suffering. But you have no idea, Sam, how much people have
Mm-hmm.
suffered inside their head in this pandemic. Something is happening on the outside that is 10%.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because of that, the suffering in
Yeah.
you has been 110%. What is happening around me, I cannot control most of the time. But what happens inside me is 110% in my control. And that is the problem that each one of us is facing.
Right.
How to handle this? Okay, if my work is not
Right.
there, you need to reset your system and explore. If you're going to crash with the changing
Hmm.
situations, then it is like it's a gone case. What are you going to do? You're going to structurally crash as well. It's not productive to crash mentally.
Right. Right. Now, having
So
said that, and very rightfully said, I would also like to ask Rishabh and Diana. Feel free to jump in at any point and ask. If you guys have what do you guys think about whatever Vrinda just said? I would like to take your views on how do you guys see it? First of all, how have things been for y'all? And it's been a hard time for all of us. We know it. And how have things been for you guys and your families and things like this? Rishabh.
I think it's been like a roller coaster ride, like since this pandemic started, because there's so much happening
Right.
all around, and suddenly at the same time nothing is happening because the movement is completely stopped. So, meeting people, learning new things, sharing new things, coming back with more energy, that has all completely shut. So the way we were gaining energy
Right.
from all around the world, traveling, meeting people, learning, it has completely stopped. So that definitely does affect mentally,
Mm.
because it does get you to a place which is called, a mental block for an artistic block. So that happens, and it's really difficult to keep your
Right.
spirits high, even when things are happening like that, in the family or in your, people who you love. So when things are happening like that, health crisis
Mm.
at the same time, other things are happening. So definitely it's very challenging at this time. And I think it's very important to mentally stay as stable as possible and understand the situation and, take everything, every step,
Mm.
knowingly what you're doing, knowing the repercussions, what can happen.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. Diana, coming to you, how have things been with you guys? And, Eric's very one of my dear students, and also, someone I've really been fond of for a while now. So, how have things been with y'all, and how have y'all handled it together? And, what would you like to know or ask in that case? What would you guys like to know from Vrinda? Because Vrinda is someone who does help people in this situation, and she has been here this panel today as a speaker, uh, just to see how things have been for all of us.
It times have been challenging for us, um, but I would consider us lucky because we've been working on our emotional selves before the pandemic hit us. So with Eric and I especially, we started in 2000, somewhere around the end of 2017-18 is when I started meditating. I started practicing yoga at the end of 2018.
Mm-mm.
So I've had 2 years before the pandemic actually hit, and when it came here,
Mm.
I thought that it was a good time to spend with myself because now I have the time to do it. So the first lockdown went only in spending time with myself, introspecting, meditating, thinking about what my real goals are. With Eric, it was
Mm-mm.
the work goals that he's always wanted to do but never had time. So he did a lot of studying. So for us, honestly, we took it as a positive. There were things that happened around us. Eric's mom fell sick. She was diagnosed with corona. His grandmom passed away. So a lot happened. I lost one of my uncles and my cousin. So the things did happen around us as well. But we try to stay in the present, stay stable, and look for the positive in everything. So I think that really helps.
Mm.
The other thing I wanted to mention was like how Rishabh mentioned, artist blocks, Vinda. It's not only because of the pandemic. Uh, I mean, we've given this opportunity now, the time now to think about, our life. But this is a question that we should always have, at the back of our mind internally. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on if there weren't any pandemic? how does an artist stay out of an artist block, because it is a real thing, it happens.
I love your question, Diana, and the answer is going to be, I don't think anything that you've ever expected. So I've asked this question to a lot of artists, that how do you actually create? How does a design actually take form in your
Yes.
mind? Or and the answer I normally get, I've asked this to music directors, I've asked this to, I think I asked you this time. It's literally as if you are in a vibrational space, you're in a flow, and
Yeah, yeah.
design kind of takes shape. Am I right, Sam?
Mm.
Does that happen like that for all of you?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
rather
I
than,
think
Yeah,
so
in a
it's
way.
rather
me when
than
I'm cleaning.
so then that's you'll never experience a writer's block when you keep cleaning. So jokes apart, so it's rather than you creating, and do dabble with this thought for a while. It's rather than you creating by actually getting your mind to a vibrational frequency of calmness. You download, you download a design.
Mm.
Think about this. A science is actually
Mm.
so
Yeah.
it's not yours. You've come into resonance with that design. The design was always there. Anything that ever had to be
Mm.
kind of created or imagined, it's already there. You are bringing yourself into resonance,
Mm.
a kind of a frequency, and the design literally happens in your mind.
Yeah.
Even if you're trying to find a solution to a problem,
Mm.
even if it does not happen when you're racking your brain. It happens when you let it go and you're just chilling and having coffee, and suddenly the answer will pop in your head. So I think, Diana, I've had this conversation with a lot of artists, or maybe actors, or it is about constantly training your mind to be at ease. When you can't design, you
Mm.
actually have to have techniques which allow you to let go. When you're holding your mind too tight and
Mm.
trying to think, trying to imagine, or trying to be creative, it's not going to happen. It happens when
Yeah.
you're not trying,
Mm.
Yeah.
because it was never your doing.
Mm.
You tried to just calm yourself down.
Yeah.
And I would also like to share this, because I think a lot of creative people, in fact, not just creative people, anybody um, who is known for what they do, they try to attach themselves with what they do. The
Hmm.
moment you
Mm.
take things in perspective, like Diana, Sam, Rishabh, tattooing is a part of what you do. It's not your entirety. There are so many dimensions to you. There are
Yeah.
so many aspects of you. You're a husband, you're a wife, you're a son, you're a friend, you're so many aspects. So when you take the load off
Mm.
being the tattoo artist, some magical thing just unfolds. You come at ease. And the moment you are at ease,
Mm.
that is when the magic unfolds. No, no blockage there. You'll just flow in anything, even in a relationship. So, and I often
Mm.
I'm surprised that when creative people only ask me about blocks. Nobody asks me, okay, my relationships are not fine, or this aspect is not fine. It's only about where my um, income is coming from. That aspect should not get stuck. Rest can
Mm.
be stuck, and it's okay. But we don't understand all of these are connected. If one space of my life is disturbed,
Mm.
that negativity, that negative energy is going to filter into every aspect of my life and disturb my energies, hence taking me out of alignment with that vibration of ease. I mean, now you can actually think about it. Whenever you are at perfect ease, I mean, creative juices are flowing. Whenever you're anxious, how can you create? Nothing is going to happen. You can, I mean, I don't know, maybe your hands
Right.
get shaky when you're anxious.
Yeah.
I think you
This
So
is
can't
so
create
that is
true.
if
what
This is
my
so
take.
true. Yeah. You got to
Yeah.
let it
Yeah,
be. Let it be. Yeah.
yeah,
That's so
actually,
important.
and you can only let it be, Rishabh. You can only let it be when you are not too attached to it. That there are other dimensions to you. I think every tattoo artist should also have a hobby where there's no pressure.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
just
yeah.
just just strum a few strings, just paint. I don't know if tattoo
So
artists
true,
still
so
paint.
true. Yeah, yeah.
Something where
Mm.
you can mess up. You know, it's very
No,
important
they
to
do, of course.
mess up as well where nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Do you paint, Sam? Sam, do you paint?
I do.
Do
I
any of
used
you
to,
paint?
but now I don't really. I
Huh.
barely find. So that's what I used to. I used to a lot. You know, I barely
Or
find the time
anything.
to
It could be.
actually
It's
with the kind of schedules
yeah.
that we run. But yeah, that's what.
But
Yeah.
I would like to add that
So you
when
know
you're
what I
scheduling the
did during
day,
the, to be very honest, you know, right. So
no, no,
I was saying
continue,
that, when
continue.
I, even during the lockdown, there were so many people. There were so many of my, in fact, people from my team were kind of getting rejected and feeling a little depressed with the whole situation. Even though, they were being taken care of monetarily, but there is always something, there is that space mentally which is not, you can't really fill up that space, and that is the space that is more important than that your that is that the lockdown has created. So, and this is the time when I was telling my boys that, you need to pick up a hobby. And that's when I started doing carpentry. As in, I did a lot of carpentry in the studio and,
Oh, nice.
did so many new things with carpentry. And that was something that I learned. And that's where I got them involved as well. And, slowly everything, the whole positivity started flowing in. And, mentally everybody would start getting the whole situation. And and that's how I think everyone should be. If you can't find a way, you need to make one. And that's how I see a thing.
And
So,
and also, Sam, even if you can't find a way, you should know how to let it be. You should know how to let it all go because eventually the
yeah,
way is going to
yeah,
be found. It's not going to last. Nothing lasts forever. I mean,
yeah,
pre-pandemic did not last forever. Pandemic is not going to last forever.
right.
Something new is going to come up. There is always going to be something else. So what is in our control is what I can do. What is in my control is what I
Yeah,
can do. What I can't do, I can't do. What is in my
mm,
control is how do I bring
absolutely.
my system at ease, at will, even if I
Mm,
don't have carpentry, even if I don't have anything. Can I just be still and be
mm,
bring my system at ease? All my tools are taken away from me.
mm,
That is an absolute
mm,
prerequisite for people in the coming time. Because I mean, last 1.5 years
mm,
shown us that things are very unpredictable. If things are unpredictable, my foundations need to be
absolutely.
deeper. And if my
Mm,
foundations, by foundations I mean my mental, my emotional regulations has to be done by me. You know, I was doing a live recently, guys, and
mm,
one person actually asked me a question which I got thinking that he said, how do I know that I'm anxious? Can you imagine that we don't even know how to identify when I am out of ease? So then I had to make him do a certain kind of breath work to
mm,
make him feel what ease feels like. You know, when there is a certain kind of peace within you, people don't know what that feels like, and that is very scary. If anxiety has become normal,
mm,
then it is just a matter of time when before it turns pathological. Anxiety is a normal phenomena, but it can't be 24/7. Maybe before a job interview, maybe before you're tattooing for
mm,
the biggest celebrity on this planet, that little bit of butterflies is good. But can you imagine living like that 24/7 and not
mm,
even knowing the difference? Your immunity is gone. Higher inflammation in the body, very low immunity, and then one by one, all lifestyle diseases start manifesting. This is a medical fact that
mm,
our mind and our immunity are cannot be separated. The way we feel in the mind, accordingly, the body is going to be working its immunity. If you're always anxious, immunity has to
mm,
be low. That's a sympathetic nervous system. So even for our physical well-being, we have
right.
to be able to self-regulate our emotions. It is absolutely vital. You can't go around it anymore.
Coming back to your question,
Hmm.
Vrinda, if we didn't have anything else, I think the only thing we have is our breath work, which we can work with to stay
Yes.
balanced, right?
Yes.
If
Absolutely,
you,
Diana. Bang on.
so my question
Those
is,
are the
Vrinda, I
simple.
started.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, please continue. Please continue.
So this is my meditation journey when I started. Um, firstly, it took me like a year to even come to a meditative state. So I had reached like rock bottom, and there was no other way. And I had heard about meditation. That's how I started using an app, through an app, guided meditation, because I didn't know how to meditate also. So after a year, I started actually experiencing what the meditative state feels like, what letting go is, what accepting my flaws is, and I started feeling a lot better. And then life caught up again, work caught up, and then you kind of, forget that, oh, I'm supposed to do these things, this is part of my daily routine. So I realized that coming to that meditative state and the state of ease is difficult, but staying in that state is even more challenging, right? And then when I remembered, oh, I should meditate, because when I meditate I feel so much better. And there was this few months where I was forcefully meditating myself, like while I'm meditating I'm like, am I going to get there now, am I going to get there now, and I just wasn't getting there. So that's when I
You never
realized,
get
okay,
it when
I
you
just need to let
try.
go.
Yes. So I think I get your question. And I would want to touch upon two things that you said. Firstly, of course, your meditation question. So according to my guru, whose name is Yogi Raj Siddhanathji, who's a very accomplished yoga Kundalini master, because that's a sadhana that I follow, meditation is not a doing. Meditation is a happening.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
all the meditation practices that
Hmm.
are designed for concentration. Okay. And out
Hmm.
of extreme concentration, so whether it is jap, whether you're chanting, whether you're focusing it on your mind on a light or on a mantra, anything, but it is about concentrating your mind. And out of extended concentration, meditation happens. So meditation is not a doing. Because of lack of a word in the English language, they call concentration as meditation. But meditation is the uh, transcendence of mind that you experience very, very sporadically after a lot of concentration. And
Yes.
that state
Hmm.
throughout the day, you will not be able to maintain. What is in your capacity to do
Hmm.
is to be able to concentrate your mind. Like if you're working,
Hmm.
you're only working. If you're eating, you're only eating. So a lot of ease comes into the system out of just concentration. So Dinah, throughout the day, like if you're
Hmm.
supposing you are sitting with a few people and you're feeling agitated, you can't meditate. Of course you can't. Suddenly you won't sit shut. Even if you try to, it's not going to happen. What you do is you manipulate the breath. By
Yes.
manipulating the breath, you bring your system to certain kind of ease and you try to concentrate onto something. Ideally, concentrate on what the person is saying. That would be the perfect thing to do if you're sitting in a conversation. Otherwise, you will realize the moment your mind is hooked onto one thing and the breath is more diaphragmatic. Diaphragmatic is from the diaphragm. It's just below the chest is your diaphragm, just below the lungs. So
Hmm.
I would actually, I would like you guys to practice of how to ease anxiety. Physically, what kind of breath work you can do. So the moment you can do diaphragmatic breath, literally for 10 to 12 breaths, your system will come into some form of ease and you will not feel out of alignment. This is still not meditative. Meditation is a
Hmm.
practice that you will do in the morning. Throughout the day, you will bring your system into some form of ease throughout the day. So it is one work to be done in the morning,
Hmm.
and then every single day, every single hour of the day, you have to work at bringing ease into your system, regulating your emotions. Otherwise, our emotions are turning toxic. And one more thing, Dinah, I would love to share. You said then life caught up with you. So can you imagine if life did not catch up with you, darling? Problem will happen then. If life did not happen,
Then, yes,
thank,
absolutely.
be grateful that
Yeah.
life is happening, life is catching up.
I
So,
understand what you
so yes, uh, I mean, you have to understand what I mean because we have taken life, we made life synonymous with my psychological drama. You know, whatever psychologically is going on in my head, we made that synonymous with life. That isn't true. Life is a phenomenal
Mm.
happening, as is. The trees don't care about your psychological drama. The air doesn't care. The sun doesn't care. The earth doesn't care what is going on in a tiny mind. But there is phenomenal stuff that is happening out there. So the more we tune into
Mm.
life as is, the less our psychological drama will bother us. So one practice I would love to share
Mm.
with you guys, is becoming life centric. Every time we wake up, we have to train our minds to not take life for granted. It is a phenomenal happening and it is not in our control. It is beyond our control. So every morning, literally, you're being given a gift. Okay, I want to ask you guys something that would really make you smile in the moment. Like, okay, what if I gave you $10 million? Would that make you smile? Hypothetical.
Now, of course, smile and I'll
You
probably
know,
be dancing around the place.
yeah,
can you
dancing
hear
around
me?
and
Why not?
uh, yes, Dinah, we can hear you. But what if I
Okay.
gave you $10 million? I mean, Rishabh is very excited.
Oh,
So
you've given
ten
me ten
million
million
dollar. I don't
dollars.
know.
It's
Yes.
too much
Would you be excited or
responsibility.
no?
There
But
was a
would you be
time I
excited
would
or no?
be. There was a time I would
No,
be, but
white money I'm giving
today
you.
I feel it's a responsibility.
It is no note is happening. It's white money, $10 million. Just enjoy it. Don't overthink it. Would you be excited, Sam?
Of course, I would be, but
Yeah, yeah.
like I always tell people, so
I don't. No, no, no.
you
I
know,
haven't finished. I haven't
it's
finished.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay, okay. So,
Yes,
okay. If I
Rishabh,
give you
Rishabh,
ten million dollars,
we haven't received Rishabh's
okay. Let me ask
answer.
Rishabh this. Okay, Rishabh, would you be excited if I give you $10 million?
Yeah, I think so. I should be.
Uh, okay. Now the question is, would you
Who
trade it
wouldn't
for
be?
your life? The
No,
question is, would you trade it for your life?
definitely not.
No. Oh, Sam is thinking. Sam, जितना
No,
सोचने का बात
I'm.
नहीं है.
No, what's the 10 million of any use if I wouldn't have my life? So
Yes,
Exactly is the
what
exactly.
would I do
point.
with
So,
it?
exactly. So when we put things in
Precisely.
perspective, our life is the most phenomenal thing that is happening to us in any given moment, incomparable, priceless. Just
Yeah.
because we don't pay enough attention
Mm.
to it makes us just take it for granted. But every
Mm.
morning, if we take out literally
Mm.
5 seconds in taking a breath and feeling alive, as in, thank God I'm alive. I'm alive. Life is still happening in my veins. Uh, Despite all the troubles I
Absolutely,
might be
yeah.
having in the day, I mean, I can do something about the troubles if I have life. So,
Yeah.
becoming life centering, Dinah, you will be very glad that life is catching up with you. Thank God life caught up with
I
me. What
use
is
the
the.
wrong words.
I
So I
know,
was
I know.
talking to my
I'm
sister
just.
last night, and I was
Huh.
telling her about today's live, and we just having a conversation, and I was also telling her the same thing, that I am experiencing things on my spiritual journey, but I am still not able to put it in words to explain it to someone. I have not reached there yet, but I am experiencing it, and I want to help people. But the choice of words are always off.
That's fine. And most of the times, our spiritual experiences cannot be put in words. We always fall short of words. But no, you gave me a hook to actually take the conversation to where it was supposed to go. So thank you for that hook that you gave me. But
Okay, let's
but
hear.
yes, guys. But people really need to get life centric. And I'm not specifically tattoo artists, but every single human being has to get life centric, because with the coming times, if things are crashing around you, what are you going to feel grateful about? I'm asked this question so many times. Okay, this is not happening. I've lost my job. I've lost some money. I've lost some family. How do you expect me to smile? And my answer is, you still have you. You are
Yeah.
still alive. Now the option is,
Hmm.
what do I do with this life? This life is my first
Hmm.
responsibility.
Hmm.
If I'm going to stress about
Hmm.
things that I couldn't do, or I'm going to feel really too grieved, grieving is fine, but excessive grief about something I have no control over, I'm going to be damaging this
Oh.
life as well. And that is counterproductive. In nature, in existence, life
Hmm.
has to be productive. There's a concept of survival of the fittest. It is based on how well you can adjust to change and adapt. And this property of a human
Hmm.
being has to be very well maintained. You have to adapt and evolve. And maybe it becomes very frequent in the coming times, but that is what literally is going to determine our survival, not just our excellence, our survival.
Hmm.
You have to adapt.
Oh,
So
very true.
I think Rishabh has a question for me.
You know,
I don't have a question for you, but I'm really glad what you're sharing. It's so helpful.
yeah.
Like, even if these are the questions that I wouldn't be able to put in words, but it just, I think whenever we are looking for an answer, it just comes through the universe, even if we don't ask it out loud from our mouth itself.
Yeah,
Even just we are
yeah,
thinking about it,
yeah.
we
And
get the answer. So I'm glad you're sharing your knowledge and understanding about things
and
so well.
also, thank you so much, Rishabh. I'm so glad that at least the questions are arising in people's minds, and it doesn't stop here. Okay, this is the inquiry is step one.
Hmm.
The answer is step two. But then there has to be implementation and becoming. A lot of people falter at the implementation and becoming. They have got the
Hmm.
information,
Hmm.
yes, they agree with the information, but the application is not there. So, in fact, Sam, I don't know if you're aware, I am doing a mind workshop. I am doing a manifestation workshop on the 21st. So, if any of you guys are interested, you can please register. I'll share the details with you, Sam. And understanding the dynamics of
Yeah.
human mind is fundamental. How
Hmm.
to apply it, whether it's creative, whether it
Hmm.
is business, whether it is relationships. How do I apply the mind and the
Hmm.
emotion? And how do I rest it at will? When you learn these two fundamentals,
Yeah.
and there are ways to achieve that. Yes, there is creative
Hmm.
visualization. Yes, there is breath work, which is done on daily basis. And then gradually you
Hmm.
can have that skill that you can self-regulate your emotions and your state of mind. But it comes with practice.
Vrinda, right. I have a question. You know, as we know of we've come across so many cases where, some of the happiest people that we see on screen or off screen are probably the most, you know, mentally disturbed or probably depressed. And they're always constantly fighting their demons inside, but never really show it outright. What do you think is the problem? Is it the times and the challenges, the thing situation, how it has become today nowadays? Because human being, we as human beings are always seeking something. We want to look for things outside. So what do you think is the reasoning for something like this that happens? How many people have you come across who look the happiest outside but aren't inside?
Yeah. See, it is very simple, Sam. It is this need to be accepted, need to be
Hmm.
appreciated. That is why anything which we feel is subpar, we don't like to
mm,
exhibit that. I'm not saying whether it is necessary to
mm,
exhibit it to the world, but identifying it in
mm,
ourselves and doing something about it when it is a very small problem is very important. Like I said, if we don't even know what anxiety feels at the base level, then over time, it's just a matter of
mm,
time before it becomes pathological. Then it is a problem.
mm.
If we knew, if we were taught in school, Sam, guys, sorry, I keep addressing to Sam because I'm so used to talking to him, but
Of
to
course.
all of you guys,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm,
So, if we were taught in school how to regulate our emotions, how not to depend always on
mm,
external validation, how it is okay to not be
mm,
liked. It's okay. But that is not grounds of you not liking
mm,
you. No appreciation from outside is
mm,
okay. As long as I'm doing something with my life. I'm moving towards, okay, maybe in the business fraternity I might not have value, but I'm a creative person. I have value for me.
mm,
My life is of value to
mm,
me. And it is okay if my life is of no value to XYZ. This should have been taught to us in
mm.
kindergarten. Because whatever our belief systems are,
Right.
Sam, guys, they are just kind of programs that have been fed into us in our
Mm,
literally pre-nursery years till the age of 8. We have
mm,
absorbed programs from the
mm,
parents, whether securities, insecurities, the need to please, to put up a facade, to put up a personality. This word called personality literally means a facade,
mm,
persona. It's makota. Like it's not real.
mm.
And we've been trained to
Yeah,
have really dynamic
yeah.
personality. What if I'm an introvert? I like being by myself. I don't like to mingle too much with people, and I'm fine with it. And so these
Mm,
norms that were created, you need to be a certain way.
mm.
Even social media puts a lot of pressure on putting up a front. Nobody is going to be sad and depressed and being on social media and telling them I'm sad.
Yeah.
And anyways, every sadness is not depression, but it is this constant need to put up
Mm,
a front. And this, I feel, Sam, is because we spend very little time by ourselves without any distraction.
with ourselves.
If you if you do spend
Mm,
time with yourself without distraction of music, reading, or television, no music, no reading, no television, just sitting by yourself, over time, either you'll end up hating yourself or you end up loving yourself. Now, choose which one is more productive. It
mm,
depends on your programming. You will not be in between. You'll be
mm,
yeah, you can be bored with yourself. So then you know that
mm.
fundamentally something has to change. Our perceptions about ourselves are very askew. They are very off. Like and also, Sam, the constant comparison is is literally burning people out.
Mm.
I don't know how much of that happens in the tattoo
Right.
industry, but I guess in every field it is
Mm.
going to be there. And in fact, the world doesn't compare as
Right.
much as we compare ourselves with others in our own heads.
Ourselves.
I'll give you a very interesting example. You could be feeling really nice about yourself. You've done a great piece and you're feeling really satisfied, and you go on Instagram and you're scrolling and you find someone doing another beautiful piece. Again, no comparison, but another beautiful piece and another environment. Your excitement actually gets lessened.
That
It
is there.
actually
Yeah.
it gets lessened, and the mind literally goes to, oh, I could have done that piece. This is not just about you. Okay, I could have sung that
Mm,
song, or I could have done that, or I could have conducted that workshop. I'm not saying that is right or wrong. Identifying this property of the mind is fundamental for your well-being. There and then recognize it for what it is.
mm,
Recognize it for the constant wiring
mm.
inside your brain, for the constant comparison, and drop it there and then. Leave the
It's our
phone
ego
aside.
inside,
Mm.
right? that tells us these
Yes,
things.
it
The
is
inner ego.
our, see again, the ego also, Diana, ego is kind of become very infamous, but it is not all bad. If you did not have an
Yes,
ego, you can't even cognize the body. Your atoms will be floating everywhere.
coexist. Yeah, it
It's your self
coexists, but it's
identity.
to give more importance to. You
Yes,
have to
it
find a
has
balance.
to be kept in perspective. It has, if
Yeah.
you don't have an ego of,
Mm.
if you don't have an I-ness, I sense, then you will be very flaky and floaty.
Mm.
I'm not talking
Yes.
about masters. Masters can exist in two states:
Mm-hmm.
egoless and using the body, using the body to do whatever it needs to do. Body consciousness. Coming to ego is not all bad. Ego
Mm.
literally means your self identity. That means you have a name, you have a form, which is the truth of
Mm.
life. An overinflated ego will become
Right.
problematic. That is the only thing. So ego is not bad. It is just that the constant need to compare, which has been ingrained in us literally since again kindergarten,
Mm.
because your grades were compared, your performances were compared. You were not good enough unless you were better than someone else. Do you realize
Mm.
how crappy that is? That is such a horrible way to live.
Right.
That unless I was not better than somebody else, my life literally had less value than that person's life. So
Mm.
from grades and sports,
And
it yes,
I
you
think,
were saying something.
it's, correct me if I'm wrong. I think social, yeah, I was saying, I think, social media has probably just amplified this whole, comparison
FOMO.
that people tend to make with, themselves with others, right?
Yes. This is my favorite subject, Sam, since a while. Like I
So,
recently came across this term called FOMO, the fear of missing out. Are you guys familiar with the term?
huh.
so, so someone said कि
Well,
some teenagers
I
are
mean, now I am.
yeah. So it is literally it always existed because the wiring is that deep. Like, but earlier our
Hmm.
the information about other people's life was restricted to just a few people. Just the neighbors, friends, cousins,
Absolutely.
and that's the
Yeah.
only information that got to you. Now, when you open the
Hmm.
Instagram or any social media platform, information of the world is pouring in into your life. And
Yes.
then, can you imagine comparing this little one life to the billions of people on the planet? It is there are going to be thousands of people above you, and there are going to be thousands of people below you,
Hmm.
whatever your concept of above and below is. But everyone has their own
Hmm.
place. There is no other Rishabh Narang on this
Hmm.
planet. There is no other Dinah Chang on this planet. There is no other Sameer Patange on this planet. There is no other Vrinda on this planet.
Hmm.
There's only one. So
Hmm.
how do I go about comparing? Is the thought itself is flawed.
Hmm.
Comparison itself is a very flawed, uh, what is it, programming, which is very deeply rooted.
Hmm.
Now, to remove that, there is work required. Has to be a constant reminder. Like literally, I teach practices to people because I also conduct sessions for people who are in the most. They are really out there. I mean, they have the most reasons to feel insecure as well because they are that level in the industry. So, how to actually get very comfortable with being the one and only, but as a piece of life, not by what you do. So there are practices where you train
Hmm.
yourself to realize how phenomenal you are as life. And that is the only way you will appreciate life in
Hmm.
anyone else. Whether it's a plant, whether it's an animal, if you have not appreciated yourself as life, you will never be
Hmm.
humane. Then it is a moral code of conduct. Then it is not real. It is something that you are trying to adopt.
Hmm.
If you respect yourself as life, if you celebrate yourself as life itself, without any paraphernalia, without the bank balance, without the publicity, without anything or appreciation, if you can celebrate yourself as life, you will respect life in every organism, whether it's a whether it's an algae or whether it's an
mm,
animal or whether it's a plant. You will truly respect life, and that is the future of a human being. That is the only way humans are going to remain sane and the planet actually will survive. Otherwise, this competition and this uh, crazy uh, insecurities that are happening out there, the world is wired to self-destruct. The human being is getting wired
mm,
to self-destruct. Forget from outside, you will
mm,
destroy yourself. So there's a big shift that needs to happen in the psyche, guys. Big shift, and nothing is
mm,
permanent in your brain. Nothing is set in stone in your head. Everything is fluid. Everything is connecting and reconnecting inside your brain. This change has to be brought up because unless this change happens,
mm,
survival is going to be very, very hard.
I read a
mm,
book, Vrinda. It's a series of book by Tully. So he wrote the first book, Power of Now. But the second book, A New Earth, is exactly what you're talking about. How
Well, I
the
haven't read
human,
it, but yes, yeah. See
we have
again,
to
you
change.
said you brought up amazing point. Yeah, uh, because we are so removed from what nature is when we ourselves are nature. We are a part of nature, literally. And understanding this harmony and firstly being removed from this harmony is the reason why there is disease. If you were in sync with nature, there are very less chances of you actually getting disease. This harmony has to be brought back. I mean, if a child from the age of 4 or when the child is in the mother's womb is told that literally these trees are my lungs, our lungs are hanging outside on the trees,
mm.
do you think that child is going to grow up and cut the trees? No, not at all.
For the trees, no.
Nobody has to monitor the
Honestly, no.
carbon footprint. You would be intelligent enough to not make something as stupid as plastic. You would not make it. Even if you make it,
Mm,
you will not use it. Okay, you invented it. No matter how much money it brings to you, you will just not let it happen. Because you know that the
mm,
larger organism that we call the earth is going to suffer. It's one organism.
mm.
Literally, can you imagine? Earth has one organism and 8 billion are the cells.
Yeah.
Not 8 billion, the animals and the like, trillions of cells, life forms. So if
Yeah.
any
Mm,
of the, when you call the, if any of the life forms is suffering, every other life form will suffer, whether you want it or you don't. Even if bees, everybody knows, even if bees wipe out from this planet, I don't think no ecosystem is going to function. The whole ecosystem is going to collapse. So
mm.
understanding yourself as nature,
Right.
understanding uh, how literally everything is one organism. There is no sense of competition, literally no sense of competition. Can you imagine? I actually I was listening to a talk by a very renowned cardiologist, and he was saying, "Have you ever thought what would happen if one cell of your body starts competing with another cell of your body and starts wants to hoard what that cell is having?" Do you know what it is called? It's called cancer. Isn't that what cancer is? The cells of your body are taking over other
Mm.
cells of the body and want to take
Taking
in
over.
whatever the other cells have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cancer.
Yeah.
So cancer is literally our psychology, which is manifesting as disease. This whole understanding of
Mm,
human system has to be reset. Once that happens,
mm,
this planet is going to flourish. You will flourish as a life, and by default, life will flourish.
mm.
But one baby step at a time. Just wake up in the morning and do some breath work, get some sun, um, self regulate your emotions.
Vrinda, you were going to show us
Mm.
breath work.
Yes, yes, yes. So How much time do we have? I'm quickly going to show you the breath work.
Sami,
Sam, how much time do we have?
Uh, I would like to call upon Andre for this, and he would be the right person to tell us. Uh, Andre,
Not like
back to
last
you.
time, no, Sam? Sam, last time we went on for 2 hours. Cannot do
I,
it.
oh yeah, I think yeah, I know. I think we went longer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we went for 2.5, literally 3 hours, and people were still watching, and I'm like,
3 hours,
Sam,
yeah, yeah. I know, yeah. That was
that was
my
an
personal
Insta
life,
live.
so that was fine. Isn't that is
Yeah,
we were
exactly.
catching
We'll
up
ask
with,
Andre.
yeah. But
Um,
Yes, Andre,
Andre,
can I teach them
so yeah,
breath work?
Andre is here, and
oh
he's
yeah,
the right man to answer that question.
no, we'll be happy to learn that. So yeah, we can go
Quickly,
on.
I'll
Sure.
5 minutes.
We've got
Okay,
30 minutes
all
if
right.
we want to go with this. Dude. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. I'll take you through the simple breathing exercises that are absolutely vital, especially now because of obviously the pandemic and the effect that it has on the respiratory system. But understand why breathwork is
Mm,
so amazing and important right now is because our breath and our mind
mm,
are directly connected. So in Sanskrit, there is a very powerful, it's a very
mm,
beautiful saying in Hatha Yoga. It's called Chale Vate, Chale Chittam. Ancient saying, which means the way the breath moves, the mind moves. And the way the mind moves, the breath moves. So having that kind of a regulation, you can
mm,
start with first basic breathing exercises to increase your lung capacity. The better you can breathe, the lesser are going to be your stress levels. So anytime anxiety hits you
mm,
during the day, no matter what reason, take 5 minutes out. Tell yourself three, I like to call it the 3-2-1 practice. It is 3-2-1. You tell yourself, stop. Stop that thought dead in the tracks. Trust me, with practice, you'll be able to do it. And simultaneously, you change the breath to the diaphragmatic breath. Now, how diaphragmatic breathing is done, just place your hand below I just move the camera a little bit. Just place your hand below the chest, below the rib cage, right there. And as you inhale, the hand slightly comes out. As you exhale,
mm,
the abdomen goes in. As you inhale, the abdomen comes out. You can exhale.
mm. Yeah, yeah.
Try to make your exhalation longer than the inhalation. So with the diaphragmatic breathing, you kind of trigger in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and recovery mode. This is one way of
Mm,
breathing. And another set of breath work that you do is using your intercostal muscles. Intercostal muscles are at the side of the rib cage here. So as you inhale, try to increase the rib
oh,
cage outward. So I'll just shut the camera. So hands are right here. Inhale. The hands will go out. Exhale. And the rib cage comes inwards. Inhale. Exhale. Try to exhale from the mouth. You can exhale better in the beginning. This is the intercostal breathing. Very beneficial if you're recovering from COVID, if you're trying to avoid getting the infection. The better your lung capacity, the better is going to be your immunity, lesser are going to be your stress levels. Yes. And the third group of muscles that you
mm,
involve are clavicular muscles. They are here, just below the collarbone. So if you place your hands like this,
mm.
now when you inhale, your chest will rise up slightly. So you're using the upper lobes of the lungs. And as you get used to exhaling properly, you can exhale from the nose as well. And the last one,
Mm.
so just using these three breathing patterns, first the diaphragmatic breath, the intercostal breathing, and the clavicular breathing. And the last one is known as the Brahmari pranayam. That is a pranayam. The first three are the breathing exercises. The Brahmari pranayam
Mm.
is about the humming sound. Like everything in the universe is sound. Everything in the universe is sound.
Mm.
So a certain kind of sound has a certain kind of effect on our cells because our cells are a vibration and so is sound. So okay, I'll give you an example. Because Sam, I don't think you will like what I'm going to be saying. So growling will have a very different effect on your cells, which is Sam's favorite music, and which I always change when I go to the studio. So growling will have a very
Yeah,
different
and I'm
impact on
and
your
I'm
cells.
missed.
No, it has nothing to do. It's a genre. You can appreciate it, but it will have very different effect on your cells. That is not the music that you
Absolutely.
will use for calming the system down and
Yeah.
trying to heal and recover. So, understanding how to
Yeah.
use sound is very. Maybe it picks you up creatively. Use it like that, of course. But when you're resting or wanting to sleep, obviously you will not. You will listen to a different kind of a vibration, different kind of a sound. So in Brahmari pranayam, we
Ab-
use a certain sound, which is called the makar, which
mm.
is the last part of the omkar. Om
Mm.
is the sound of the sun.
Mm.
This is a proven fact now. That's a vibration. And everything that vibrates has a sound signature. So,
Mm.
Om, the last part of the Om is the Makar, which we use, and it has proven so beneficial, especially during COVID times. It increases nitric oxide in your body. Like literally, the country is trying to develop
Mm.
better formulae which have nitric oxide. Here, your body manufactures the same nitric oxide with just a sound. Can you imagine how phenomenal the human body is? So how it is done is just sitting with wherever on a
Mm.
chair, on the floor, on the bed. If you can't sleep, because I'm sure a lot of people are having sleep issues. So doing this kind of a breath work before you go to bed and just 5 minutes. You can start with 5 minutes, take it up to 7 minutes, and you can put some soothing music in your ears. But for Brahmari, you will just sit and you will take a deep breath in and you will just make the humming sound. And
It
if you
is
want to
the
feel the
more
resonance,
of the Om, right,
yes,
Vrinda?
it's the makar
It's
of
the
the Om.
more,
Yes, yes, yes.
more.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when in
So it's the
yoga
last
when
part of the Omkar.
we do Om, so the last part is when so you're supposed to breathe from the diaphragm when you take a breath in.
Yes,
And when you say
yes.
Om, by the time you reach the more, there has to be a vibration
It comes here.
in
Yeah.
yes.
So the
Which doesn't
akar,
happen all the
the
time.
yes,
Rarely it
but with
happens, but
practice,
it happens.
I'm sure, Diana, you felt it with practice that you could
Yeah.
feel the vibration shift with the sound shifting when you focus on it. So the akar you feel at the navel, ukar you'll feel at
Mm.
the u you'll feel at the heart, and the ma you'll feel in the brain. Literally, your whole head, your whole body eventually vibrates with that sound. And in case you want to increase the vibration, you can shut your ears and then do the makar
Mm.
breathing. And Rishabh is nodding. I'm sure he's been practicing. He looks like somebody who's been practicing. Have you tried it, Rishabh? Or you
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
about it?
I've done Brahmari. Yeah,
Nice,
I've done Brahmari.
nice,
Like, I've practiced it.
lovely,
I
lovely.
think I
So,
have one thing to share.
please, yes,
So we had gone to Guwahati just before the lockdown, the first lockdown, and this was the time Samir. We had gone
Mm.
little ahead of Shillong, and we stayed at this place. And over there, Brinda, I'm telling you, you know binaural beats, right? So I
of
think
course.
the mer sound is also the same vibration. It's a binaural beat, right? So when you're there in the mountain over there, so silent, that is the sound you hear without
Yes,
any effort.
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Andre
Yeah.
didn't join us. Samir was there, and I was so excited. And Samir was having like a serious conversation with someone, and I was like, "Shh, Samir, listen." and
But Diana,
but
I
I
want to
felt
share this
that
with you. Yeah. So it is not. I want to share this with you that no matter where you are, like I'm sitting in the on literally next to the road. I mean, I'm very close to the main road. There's traffic somewhere in the background, but I can still hear the sound. It's the sound which is always there.
Mm.
So as your senses get more finely tuned, that sound is your go-to sound whenever things get chaotic. So you will not need to do an external Brahmari.
Mm.
You will already just shut your eyes and tune into it, or open your eyes and still tune into it. That is your go-to vibration
Mm.
to put yourself at ease. Initially, you can use the Brahmari, and normally in mountains, it is resonating. It is like really loud because there's very little
yeah.
Mm.
disturbance of any other kind of sound.
So
But
I
when we
thought
have to be
the
in the
sound
city,
doesn't exist
Mm.
in the city.
no, 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 no. This is the sound of the sun. If the sound did not exist, we would not exist because we are all made of the sun. We are all made of the pranic energy of the sun. So the sound is the
Mm.
base frequency of everything, everything. So and you can connect with it no matter where
And
you are because for your work you might need to be anywhere. Yes, Sam, you want to ask a question?
yeah, so I
Did
want
you
to
want to?
ask you, Vinda, I want to ask you something. So
Huh?
is there a particular time that
Yes.
one needs to do these exercises at? Is there something that if you do it in the morning, it's a lot more benefit at night before sleeping, it gives you a sounder sleep and that benefits you. So
I
how
would like to say, yeah.
is one at doing this?
Uh, yeah, I ideally because diaphragmatic breathing you will be able to do best when you're on an empty, little lighter stomach or an empty stomach. So your day should definitely start
Mm.
with the breath work. But these same breathing practices
Right.
you can use throughout the day anytime anxiety hits. Anytime you find yourself getting
Okay.
overly anxious about something, whether a thought came, whether somebody told you something, whether a worry came about popped in your head about the future, there is no point in
Mm.
worrying. So this kind of a rational
Mm.
talk has to be done to yourself. Andre is totally laughing about it. So if worrying was going to solve anything, then please go ahead and worry all the time. Worrying is
Mm.
a very ridiculous activity which a human system has got wired into doing. There is no point to it.
Mm.
So then what do I do? I will have to flip the thought, like I said before, 3, 2, 1, stop, and calm down your breath. Because worrying is about some thought about the future. Worrying is not of the past. Worrying is normally about the future, a future which has
Mm.
not even happened yet. But in our head, we can only see the worst
Mm.
case scenario.
Yeah.
There could be
Yeah.
a trillion other possibilities, a trillion. And if
Mm.
our head, this is what I'll be speaking in the manifestation workshop, and it is very important, Sam, that we know how to use our mind.
Mm.
Right now, we're just learning how to stabilize the mind. After we stabilize the mind, the
Mm.
power lies in how do I use it now, because only a stable mind can be used. So, understanding how to flip a
Mm.
thought, because if my mind is going to be hooked on to a negative thought, it's more likely that I'm going to make that negative event
Mm.
happen. It's a vibrational world.
Happen.
I will
Yeah.
actually make it happen. And so it's important
Mm.
to remove that negative thought and give it a counter thought. So a lot of us don't know how to visualize. A lot
Mm.
of us don't know how to apply the science of visualization because we've not practiced it. We don't even know what it does. So yes, we
Mm.
read the book The Secret years ago and it just became like
Right.
fluff and it works, it doesn't work. It is legit science. So secret is just the surface. But understanding how the science works and then applying it to every aspect, Sam, I've seen it work, guys. I've seen it work such magical changes, transformations happen in people's lives that, I mean, it just works. It changes the quality of your life. Before it physically
Mm.
changes, it changes the quality of your life
Yeah.
first. And then the physical starts
Happened,
changing.
Vrinda, it's happened with
So
us, with me.
Mm.
I am
So, of
certain
course,
about it.
it was the secret that I had watched the movie because that time I wouldn't read much. And you have the visualization board, and then you make your list, right? And putting the date on it is really important, right? So we were
Hmm.
in our studio was in Andheri at that time. We were a very small studio then, and Eric really wanted to have a studio in Bandra. So I was like, okay, let's draw a blueprint of what we want our studio to look like. So we sat and we did that. Here will be the tattoo area. Here will be the consultation. I still have that drawing, okay. And then I was like, now let's put a date on it. And it was so weird. Okay, we put a years later date. It was August 2015. Yeah, August 2015 or 16. I have the date written on the paper. And believe me, Vrinda, we were not ready monetarily to move because we had to collect so and so amount of money and all of
Of
that.
course.
August 2015, we weren't ready. We needed 2 more months and we found a place and we had to move because that was the time when the broker was like, the place is here, take it now. You can't wait for 2 months. So we had to move. We moved everything and we were living there while we were getting the work done and But August 2015 is when we moved. So it was
That is
really weird. I mean,
fantastic.
it was
That,
amazing, but it happens.
but honestly, Diana, then do attend the workshop because you will understand how this works. How does it actually happen? How does you visualizing a future actually make it happen? And how, and one thing that Secret doesn't talk about is how do you let it go? The beauty is in knowing the dynamics. You
Hmm.
create and you set it free. You let it go. So the yin and the yang, the Shiva and the Shakti,
Hmm.
the creation and the stillness have to work together if you want to have a complete experience of life. And it is phenomenal because the coming time, every human being should know how to create with their mind, not just designs, life itself, how the money that you want, the kind of lifestyle that you wish to lead, even that has to be created in your head first. Then knowing how the dynamics work, how does the science work? The whole world is talking about
Hmm.
creative visualization. The even this guy, the guy who won the gold, the javelin thrower,
Neeraj,
Neeraj Chopra.
Neeraj, uh,
Yes,
Neeraj Chopra.
Neeraj Chopra.
Yeah.
All visualization. Muhammad
Hmm.
Ali, Steve Jobs, visualization. I'm sure all of you guys, if you achieved your
Absolutely.
dream, it somewhere starts with a vision. So this science is about
Absolutely.
understanding how it works. And Dinah, I would normally not
Hmm.
put a date. So I do it
Okay.
a little differently. So because there has to be beauty in when you are shifting there as well. There has
Also,
to,
Vrinda, I must say
Hmm.
that it happened only once.
oh, it
We did
happens
try
all the
once
time, darling,
again,
most of the
and
time.
no, the date thing, it happened only
Huh,
once
huh,
that time.
huh.
Maybe we really
Yeah,
wanted it, it was like
yes,
that,
yes.
like
No,
Om
it's a
Shanti Om,
wonderful
that
sign.
dialogue is there. Kitni siddhat
Oh
se.
yes, शिद्दत से उसे
It was
पाने की
literally
कोशिश
like
Rishabh,
की
that.
है कि पूरी कायनात ने उसे मुझसे मिलाने की साजिश
yeah,
की है.
Rishabh, why don't you share
Yes.
some of your experiences in this aspect? Have you faced or had any such experiences where, because I definitely have quite a few times. So we'd like to know about you as well. Have what's your experience been like?
Uh, to be honest, not really visualization and trying to create a future in my mind. But to be honest, like my life has always been from the time that I've understood that I'm alive, like that, I've realized that my life goes well when I go with the flow, wherever it takes me. So I have left the control of my
Mm.
life and creation and doing things, and I've completely left it to the creator. And I thoroughly believe in it. And things just fall in place. Even when I was not the one to be in that place, but I was there to learn something. Even for today, like I would say, I'm here. I had a question in mind, like, why am I doing it? Like, what am I gonna share? Because I haven't practiced any of it that we're talking about. Then I'm so happy to be
Mm.
here to learn all these things. And there is always a reason for wherever you are in life.
Of course.
And
All right.
today I'm here with all you guys, learning so much and understanding a different aspect. So it's not just
mm,
always about, giving or taking, but it's just being in that moment and, you know, optimize it, everything that you
mm,
can, like learn everything that you can, like in whatever situation. I mean, if I give you everything that you need to become something, then it's not something that you have created. You've got everything. Like if your father is, an actor and you want to be an actor and you have all the links, you're in the right place, of course you can be an actor, because you have all the links that it needs to be. But
mm,
But it
having
still doesn't
nothing and
work,
then
Rishabh.
creating something is beautiful.
But even if you have all the links, it still doesn't work. So many times, star kids, good looking,
ex-
all the
Yeah,
links, and
yeah,
it still
yeah,
wouldn't work.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so it is not just having the tool or the environment. So do come. I would really
mm,
want you to come for the workshop, Rishabh, because it will give you a very different perspective. It's
Hmm.
only after
mm,
you create and you let it go, leaving it to the universe.
Hmm.
It happens, good. Doesn't happen, no problem. What's the problem? Life is beautiful as is. But
mm,
human
Yeah.
mind is designed to aspire for more. It propels.
Hmm.
Its
mm.
creation is
Yes,
herself propelling you
absolutely.
forward. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
need to get playful with
Yeah.
manifestation. The more playful you get, it's literally like it's like a game. Like,
Hmm.
and one thing you always manifest is your happiness
Yeah.
in the moment as
Mm,
I am. That is also
Hmm.
done with practice. So there are
Yeah.
mm,
so many angles to this, and it becomes very clear. And then there's some fun. There's joy in the game when you have the tools, when you know the rules, and when you have the tools. Then there is fun in playing the game of life. It's a game.
Yeah.
Like you only said, it's a roller coaster. Of course, it's a roller coaster. Crazy ride. But at the end of the day, it's a ride.
absolutely.
Who's this? Alan Watts. This is Alan
Yeah.
Watts' line. So,
Mm,
so, and then riding the roller coaster of life and feeling the thrill happens when you have the tools and you know the rules. Then it becomes
mm,
fun. Then you become a very active participant in life, not just a bystander.
mm,
So you are
Hmm.
fully
mm.
involved with life and not attached. It's a crazy dynamics. The yin and the yang, full
Right.
involvement and no attachment. So it is
Mm,
a very beautiful space to be in, and I think it is fun. It is literally good fun, and you'll never need
mm.
any substance in your life again. As in nothing ever, nothing ever to calm yourself, nothing ever to wire yourself, nothing ever.
Yeah.
ये इसका switch आपके पास आ
So
जाएगा.
true. Mm.
The
Yes.
effects of
You know,
meditation, though, Vrinda, because I used to smoke earlier, and I've done like a couple of times other things. So with practice of meditation, daily practice, you can reach the same state mentally that you would
Yeah.
experience on substances.
Anytime.
I've
Yeah,
felt
anything.
that.
Because same chemicals, no? Our body produces the same chemicals. Whether it is
Hmm.
whatever dopamine, whatever the other chemicals are, they're all natural chemicals that can be synthetically made,
yeah.
but essentially our body manufactures them.
Mm.
So just knowing the trigger of
The
how to
release,
manufacture it.
yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Releasing it
yeah,
is
yeah,
an
and you can,
exercise. Yeah.
yes, yes, and then you practice, and you can always be high, the
Yes.
happy high.
Exactly, Diana. That's exactly what you wanted. So,
The happy high.
Samit, I'm 2 years clean. Okay.
You're what?
yeah.
two
So,
years
guys,
clean.
Sorry, I lost you there.
so
I'm 2 years clean.
so
No
2 years.
substances.
No, you can manufacture your own. I'm saying. I'm not
Acha.
kidding. Whenever I
Oh
am,
yeah, you say
yeah,
that.
exactly.
in your head, in your head, in your head.
Huh. So, this is honestly speaking, all of this is so deep that the more you know, the more you want to know. And the more you want to know is the more time you need to dedicate to it. And unfortunately, there is very little time that we have on our hands right now, contradicting what I just said. Uh, what I would say is, it's been a great panel, it's been great input. And as much as I've enjoyed, and catching up with you guys, it's beautiful. And I'd like Andre to take over from here and say a few things before we end the session for today.
I think, Vrinda, I will definitely join your workshop
Please come.
Yes.
Please, please.
Yes.
It's
because
going to be transformative.
yeah, what you spoke about of like how does somebody like us deal with when you're switched on with like people around you. That's what I like a lot of people around you. You're busy. You have because that's how life has been. And then so when you switch off, for me silence gets me panic, gets me anxiety, you know uh,
Hmm.
like the silence is what you some people like us can't deal with. And you always feel secure or good about everybody around you, like traveling or with friends, but then when you get silent is when a lot of us can't deal with it. So
Mm.
the balance is not there. But yeah, that's something we need to learn.
And that is the reason why,
Yeah.
Andre, that a lot of people crashed during the pandemic because they were left to themselves and they could not handle being by
Yeah.
themselves. And just know, I'll just
Yeah.
wrap up with this line that if you cannot be just by yourself in silence, then the system is really out of balance and you need to do something about it. Because both company
Mm.
and by yourself, company of other people, and being in just your own company, both need to be, you need to be at ease in both. So just understand that, okay, there is a little imbalance and I need to rectify it. And that's all there is to it.
Thank
So
you.
please do come. Please do come for the
Mm.
workshop.
Yes, yes. Thank you so
And
much, Funda, for all the information, and it was such great knowledge to get back in these days. On that, Rishabh has I was speaking to Rishabh over this panel, and he we spoke about how we've been in our journeys right now in this 18, 19 months. And when we came up with this panel about carving your core and how do we deal with this and talk about it, and he came up with the idea of making an artwork for it. And we actually decided that yes, through every panel, and that all about tattoo does and on inking stories, we'll have a creative artist, because it's for mainly for the tattoo community and everybody. But we said let's have an artwork that we can auction. We did this yesterday with a graffiti artist and a tattoo artist. They created a piece of work on the subject yesterday, and Rishabh has created a piece on an artwork on the subject today, and we're going to put it up to auction. And we want our tribe to support us and buy it, and that actually gets the income from that goes to the artist to support the artist community. We'll also make t-shirts and some prints for it. But yeah, let's see that artwork.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Very nice,
oh,
Rishabh.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Carve your core.
So
Beautiful.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you
What
for
I
this,
couldn't read.
Rishabh. And sorry, just put
I
it
couldn't
back,
read what is.
please.
Yeah. Immortal. Ah. Immortal Rishabh. Of indeed. Indeed. Can you
Tell
tell
us
us
a little
something
bit
about this
about,
artwork? Yeah.
yes, exactly. Tell us a little bit about the artwork, your process.
So when me and Andre we were talking about this session today, and we talked about how we can create an artwork that can depict this. So since I have inclination towards Japanese artwork style of work, in tattooing and otherwise, the way they paint, the way they draw. So koi fish is a very prominent subject in tattooing, and it represents how it goes against all the flow of water, and it still goes against all the flow of water and still, rise up. And later it turns out to be a dragon when it reaches the top. So that's why I made a koi fish, because it shows that it's so important to carve our core and keep working against all the odds and making it through.
Lovely. Lovely. Beautiful
Yeah.
thought, Rishabh. Beautiful thought.
Makes a lot of
Thank you
sense.
so much, Rishabh.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we will definitely print that, on a nice print and put it out on our platform for somebody to, help us buy that. And then we'll do some t-shirts for it, and we'll do some posters for it. And all these, that we put out to for sale goes to the artist, back to the artist. If the artist, whatever he wants to do with it, that's his call at the end of the day.
Mm.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thanks for that. It was
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Rishabh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Rishabh.
Thank you, Vrinda.
Thanks, guys.
You've been
Pleasure.
such a learned so much from you today. It was actually lovely meeting you virtually here.
I'm so glad.
You shared a lot.
I'm
Thank
so
you so
glad we
much.
all
Yeah.
are learning. I'm learning as well, and I love sharing as well. So whatever I learn, I can share. Whatever benefits my life, I would love for people to experience that because it is uh, literally critical now. People should learn and
Yeah.
should literally take charge of their life.
Mm.
Like literally,
Yeah.
that's the only way you become the dragon. When the
Yeah.
tide is against you, you need to have the tools to
Mm.
evolve and become the dragon. How apt is that? With how does that match with your artwork?
Yeah. Yeah.
For the fish to turn into the dragon, she has to have the tools
Yeah.
and apply the tools, and lo and behold, the
Right.
dragon it is.
Super.
Right.
Mm.
I think, Sam,
Cool.
that was a great session. Thanks so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank,
And
thank you, everyone.
we,
Thanks a lot.
Diana,
Yeah.
Thank
Sam,
you,
Andre,
Rishabh.
Rishabh.
Thank you,
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you, everybody.
Sameer,
thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for
Andre,
being
special
here.
thanks to you and Preeti as well.
Hey, thanks, guys. It's
The
for all
guys
of us
right
in
from
this.
school.
But yeah, let's thank the tribe, and
Cool. So
thank you to
we
the speakers. Uh, this would not have been possible without our tech partner, Shoppertainment. So Nipun buddy, once again, thank you, and thank you to our team back end, putting in all the hard work. Do follow us on All About Tattoo India on Instagram and Facebook. Give us the support, and it'll help us produce and come up with more interesting work that we are doing. So yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow, 6 o'clock. We'll be talking about conventions, which is a nice important part of our growth in the tattoo community. So we'll see you back tomorrow. Have a safe evening. Have a nice evening. Enjoy your weekend, and enjoy the pre-dependence weekend. Thank you so much. See you back tomorrow.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
thanks,
Bye,
guys.
bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.